speaking of the 49ers quarterback depth chart, I think we pretty much just kind of ran through it, but I'll just kind of summarize. Brock Purdy, if he was healthy right now, he would be quarterback one. I don't know when he's going to be healthy, and I think that if you go the entire offseason without much practice, I think they should just ease you in. And I mean, either way, it was a pretty bad injury to his elbow. They should ease him in anyway. If that's truly your franchise guy, then don't rush him back because you could potentially fuck up the rest of his career.
Let me stop you right there. Because
this you listen here, mister.
Just because this will become a single video.
No, I mean we can bunch it in with the last one.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
If it's not long.
Cut it out. No, but
stop the ship.
Just to land the ship. Just to kind of introduce our next segment. We are moving into our positional breakdowns, team by team. Today on this podcast, we're going to do the offenses for both teams. We're going to go position by position. It's not going to be too in-depth or anything, but we just want to kind of go over how the roster's looking. And then at the end of this video, we'll get into some fun rankings.
Yeah, so I think the quarterback position, as complicated as we just made it in the previous segment, Brock Purdy is currently rehabbing his elbow, and he is currently the quarterback one. And Trey Lance and Sam Darnold are currently battling it out. Well, I guess they're not still doing OTAs right now, huh? In minicamp?
I think they just ended like last week or something.
Oh,
we're waiting for
Trey Lance is at tight end university throwing to some tight ends. So hopefully that'll do good for him. Maybe he can meet some people, and I mean he's going to be with Josh Allen. Maybe Josh Allen can give him some advice. Right?
Yeah.
Josh Allen, his career at first, didn't it start kind of rough?
His first season, he didn't look that good. And then he went to the playoffs, I think his second season against the Texans, and he had a really good game. And I remember a lot of people weren't like raving about him. And I was like, this dude went off. Like, I think the way that not to go off on a tangent, just really quick. I think Josh Allen in year 2 was looked at the way that people look at Daniel Jones right now. But Daniel Jones is in year 5, so it's different. Anyways, continue. Niners.
I remember the first year that Josh Allen made the playoffs. I forget who they were playing, but it was, the Bills had a playoff game. And I remember thinking, man, this kid single-handedly lost his team that playoff game. Like, he single-handedly probably got them there.
Well,
but
yeah, maybe I was thinking of what you were talking about.
I mean, he really blew it, I think, in that playoff game. But I think Josh Allen has grown from that. And I think that we can see the same type of growth if the 49ers just stop playing around and flirting with Sam Darnold taking Lance's spot. But, so currently right now, Brock Purdy 1, Trey Lance 2, Sam Darnold 3. Or I guess you could say...
Sorry, there's no other quarterbacks on the roster?
There is. It's Brandon Allen. But he's Brandon Allen. But, knowing this team, Brandon Allen will be the franchise quarterback next year.
You never know. I mean,
yeah.
Coming into last season, if we had done this breakdown, we might not have even talked about Brock Purdy. Oh yeah, they drafted this guy with the last pick. Like, who cares? You never I think the moral of this segment should be some of these guys we aren't going to know much about. We're getting close to getting into training camp. You never know. We can only hope that they can turn into a player like Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
So continue.
Really funny story before I think we're ready to move on is Brandon Allen, I think, had a practice where he went 6 of 6, maybe throwing checkdowns or just sort of easy completions. Like I think he was 100% completion percentage, and so Greg Papa was doing an interview for the 49ers, and he was talking about, the Niners might trade Trey Lance because Brandon Allen is just so good, right? And Brandon Allen might take Trey Lance's spot on this roster. And then literally the next day, or it might have been that same day, Brandon Allen went like 1 of 8 at practice. And then the next day, Greg Pop was like, well, I guess I didn't know what I was talking about. Or you can forget what I said about Brandon Allen. But I just think it's ridiculous how quickly. I mean, Greg Papa's hired by the 49ers, and how quickly they will write off Trey Lance.
Yeah.
For a guy who's probably just going to be on the practice squad. So
yeah. I think that's a good segue into our first ever guest on the show. Let's welcome Brandon Allen.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, let's welcome Greg Papa.
Oh man.
I think we're ready to move on to the running backs. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah.
Okay, so at fullback, we know that Kyle Shanahan's going to use Trey Lance. No, I'm just playing. All right, running backs. Obviously, we've got Christian McCaffrey as running back 1. I don't think that's any surprise. They're going to use the hell out of him. And, I get worried that, McCaffrey's had his injury history so far in the NFL, and the Niners have had injury plagued running back seasons almost every year. I think every year they've had a new leading rusher.
Yeah.
Except maybe 2021. No. Yeah. I think they've had a brand new leading rusher every single season. And unless Elijah Mitchell repeated this year, because maybe the McCaffrey trade was too late, but I think McCaffrey probably ended up with more rushing yards, and Mitchell was probably injured for a lot of the season. But we've got McCaffrey at number 1. He's going to be, getting most of the touches, I would say, on offense, probably, period. Then we've got Elijah Mitchell at number 2, and we got Jordan Mason at number 3. And then we've got 2 rookies that honestly I've never heard of, but I'm seeing right here on the depth chart. We've got Kalen Laborn, and then Ronald Awat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just laughing because I'm like reading this depth chart right here, and it's like, what if somebody was an asshole and like changed the name that it's sounded kind of suspect.
Yeah.
But when talking about the first 3 running back, I hella forgot Ty Davis Price is running back 4.
Oh yeah.
Ty Davis
His
Price.
former 3rd round pick.
Yes, he was the 3rd round pick last year.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know Mitchell was a late draft pick in 2021, and he quickly rose ahead of Trey Sermon. And the thing is, Elijah Mitchell has struggled to stay healthy. And I hear that Jordan Mason looks a lot better this season, and he already looked good last season. So I wonder if Jordan Mason kind of taps into the Elijah Mitchell workload a little bit. And as for Ty Davis Price, if either of the 3 ahead of him, kind of go down, we could probably see him worked in a little bit more. But as for the other running backs that I mentioned, Laborn and Awat, I don't envision them making the roster. But I mean, they can probably make the practice squad because they're both rookies.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
and you never know when guys go down. Yeah, I think in 2021, the Niners didn't have a running back for week 3, And Kyle Juszczyk, the fullback that I was going to mention on the depth chart right here, Kyle Juszczyk had to start at running back, had to start at running back against the Packers. And I was there, and it was a great game. We didn't win, but it was a great time.
Yeah, I don't think you can have too many running backs on a practice squad, because at any given moment, that's a position that you can quickly find yourself getting many injuries, along the depth chart.
It's a high risk, high contact, position. So, especially on a run first team like the 49ers, I don't think that you can keep too many running backs.
Yeah.
And then, like I said earlier, the offensive line really, I think, makes the biggest difference. Yeah. Except, like, if you have like a top tier person like Christian McCaffrey, then McCaffrey's going to just make, he's going to be an X factor. But aside from that, like, I think you can get by with, players like Elijah Mitchell, Jordan Mason, Ty Davis Price. Like, if you use a running back by committee, unless they're just stupid and don't know how to read blocks, or don't know which hole they're supposed to hit, or don't memorize the plays, or maybe don't even protect the quarterback, which I think is pretty important for this team going forward. Next, we're going to talk about the wide receivers. It is Brandon Ayuk as the X receiver. We got Deebo Samuel as the Z receiver, and Juwan Jennings right now as the slot receiver. And then next in line, not in any particular order in the depth chart, we got Ronnie Bell, Danny Gray, and Ray McLeod. And I would say the players that are on the outside looking in are Tay Martin, Chris Conley, Willie Snead, Isaiah Winstead, and Daz Newsome. So I mentioned Isaiah Winstead in the show previously because he was an undrafted rookie, and I thought that I think it was like some practice highlights that I saw that I thought looked pretty good. I think he's a pretty tall receiver. I don't envision he'll make the team, but I don't even envision that he's next in line to make the team. But he was just a player that I was interested in. I think the first 6 that I named are probably going to be the ones that make the team. And really, for the 49ers, you don't really need that many receivers, because this team is just going to run the ball. Unless the plan has changed and they're implementing sort of the offense that they were going towards at the end of the year, where it was a lot of checkdowns to McCaffrey and really like more of a West Coast, kind of offense. But really, I see the run game being a big part. Definitely. Anything you want to say about the receivers, or can we just kind of move on?
We keep going.
Yeah.
I guess I'm curious how they're going to use Deebo this year, because they kind of seem to move away from the run game for him last year, whereas 2021 he just had an insane.
Dude, season. He was incredible in 2021.
He was he was one of the best players in the NFL that year. Period.
He was super Deebo.
Yeah.
No, that's it. Yeah, I mean, I guess the way that I see Deebo being used is probably less as a running back, because you have McCaffrey, and I would love to see more screens come back for Deebo, and more jet sweeps. I think we have to see more of those. Just kind of keep the defenses on their toes, not knowing what they're going to get. So
definitely. Having Deebo and McCaffrey on the same field is just, it feels like a cheat code.
And then honestly, I don't think Brandon Ayuk gets enough credit. I think he's a terrific route runner. And, if he was on a pass first offense, I think he would really blow up.
Yeah. I think he's continuously, gradually escalated as far as his production and his output. He's gotten better and better.
He's been pretty consistent, I would say, over the over what? Has it been 3 years with the Niners now? Yeah, 2020, 21, 22.
But that's what I mean is he's been consistently seems like he's going upwards. Like it's not like he's like plateauing and becoming worse or something, you know.
Yeah, no. He's more, I would say, a traditional receiver than Debo. And yeah, I really like Ayuk, and I kind of feel bad for him because, like I said, on another team, he might be like a star.
Yeah.
You know,
I could see him being...
I mean, he's like a low-key star on the 49ers, but, you know, he's got George Kittle getting a lot of touches. He's got Deebo Samuel getting a lot of touches. Now Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
So,
like, imagine Ayuk on the Chiefs right now. He'd be their number one, and he would be a 1,200-yard, 10-touchdown at least guy, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think I don't want to see that because I want to see Ayuk continue to be on the Niners. But, hey, if Patrick Mahomes wants to somehow make his way over to the Niners, I won't complain.
I'll take him. Get him out of Kansas City, please. Somebody. But that's never going to happen. He's like Curry on the Warriors. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah. All right. Tight ends. We got George Kittle. And, I mean, right now on this depth chart, it's got Charlie Warner as the tight end 2. And I think Braden Willis and Cam Latu actually have I think they have a green light to surpass Charlie Warner in the depth chart. Warner is normally known for his blocking, and I think that if Cam Latu or Braden Willis just sort of have a great camp, I don't know why the 49ers would stay loyal to Charlie Warner over one of those two or both of those rookies. But, you know, I guess we'll just kind of see how it plays out. But we also have Ross Dwelley and Troy Fumagalli also as tight ends in the tight end room. But I personally prefer Ross Dwelley over Charlie Warner, but the 49ers just don't use Ross Dwelley, and I think he's underrated. But I wouldn't say he's like a world-class tight end either.
Right.
But I do know that Cam Latu was the Niners' 3rd-round pick.
This year?
Yeah. Was he a 3rd or was he? Yeah, I think he was the 3rd. So some investment there. I think he'll make the team.
Yeah, if he's a 3rd, 4th-round tight end, that's definitely investment for that position.
Mm-hmm.
And then George Kittle was a 5th-rounder.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Not to say that he should be better than George Kittle at some point. Just, you know, that's good investment.
Yeah, crazier things have happened. Yeah. All right. Offensive line, starting with the left tackle position, we got Trent Williams and Matt Pryor. Matt Pryor, I think, has a great chance to beat out Trent Williams in camp. You're not paying attention.
No, I was making a sarcastic nod right there, like totally. Yeah.
No, and then they got Jalen Moore also in the left tackle room. It's pretty self-explanatory. That's Trent Williams' spot. And Matt Pryor and Jalen Moore are probably going to have to duke it out. Although I think the Niners kind of prefer for their backup tackles, or backup offensive linemen, I think they prefer a guy who can fit into, I guess, different positions, like a versatile guy. And I think Colton McKivitz was kind of that guy before, because I want to say Colton McKivitz was drafted as a guard, and then right now he's the starting right tackle. So in terms of other tackles, we have Leroy Watson, who, I mean, no disrespect to Leroy Watson, I don't know who you are. And Alfredo Gutierrez, I know who he is, but is this going to be the year the Niners give him a chance? I don't think so. I think that part of me thinks that they kind of keep him as like a marketing, you know, like trying to get like the Mexico market. And, you know, it's cool that they're giving him like an opportunity, but I don't think they're I mean, if he's a project, they're going really slow with him. But offensive linemen like Jake Brendel, he was a project, and he was a Pro Bowler last year. So I don't know. I mean, we'll kind of see how it goes with Gutierrez, but I'm not necessarily expecting him to make the team, but I expect him to be with the team because I think since he's an international player, he doesn't take a roster spot.
Oh, I didn't know that.
At
least is that in the preseason?
I think he doesn't take a roster. He would on the 53-man roster if he made it, I think. But yeah. He doesn't take a roster spot if they like keep him on the practice squad or like, I don't think that there's like any penalty to doing that. So that's sense. Probably why they haven't like let him go. And like I said, it's more of a like marketing thing. Like I think when they played in Mexico City last season, they had Gutierrez like kind of at the forefront of the marketing for that game, but he wasn't even going to play.
Yeah.
Or suit up. So, then at the guard positions, we got Aaron Banks and we got Jason Poe. I think Jason Poe I want to say he was a center. So maybe Jason Poe might be a guy. I heard he did great in camp last year. He is a little undersized, but if he can be that versatile player, I could see him jumping around from positions, probably not to tackle, but in the interior offensive line, I mean, if you're good, you're good. But I know firsthand that if you're undersized as a lineman, it's really hard to overcome that. Although lowest man wins. So there's also that. But in the NFL, I'm sure it's maybe a little bit different, because Trent Williams is just huge. And he dominates people. And I think in the NFL, I like to have bullies, Yeah. I like to have bully offensive linemen.
I would like to see that from the Raiders.
Yeah. So at center, I didn't even talk about right guard yet. We got Spencer Burford, Nick Zakelj, Joey Fisher, and Ilm Manning. Probably not related to Peyton. But yeah, I think it's going to be Burford and Zakelj. They're the players that I hear the most about. And I've also heard Joey Fisher's name kind of mentioned a couple times. I don't necessarily know why, but he has to be an undrafted rookie because it says right here he's a rookie. And I don't remember the Niners drafting a lineman. So, hopefully they got good value there.
Yeah.
At center, I think it's probably going to be Jake Brendel's job. I don't think John Feliciano is going to take over there. Feliciano might have a better chance at taking a tackle spot. Same thing with Matt Pryor. They would probably be best battling it out for the right tackle position, but we'll kind of see how it plays out. Maybe they'll also be battling for the right guard position.
What is Feliciano listed as? It probably doesn't matter right now, but
he's listed right now on this depth chart. This is David Lombardi's spreadsheet.
Okay.
He's listed as the backup center.
Yeah, I think he was the starting center for the Bills for a while. He might have been with I don't know what team he was with last year, but former Raider. And when he was with the Raiders, I really liked him. And then when he was, I think it was when he was already like a year gone, he started talking shit on Twitter and stuff, and it was kind of annoying, but he was a good Raider, so whatever.
Yeah. The other two names on players that maybe I don't really know what to expect, so I don't necessarily have high expectations for these guys. Keith Ismail and then Corey Luciano. Luciano being a rookie, so probably undrafted as well. But other than that, I think we're going to see a similar starting O-line to the one that we had last year. But I don't think I don't think Daniel Brunskill is back, so he won't be splitting time with Burford. So we'll see if Zakelj make it harder for Burford and, maybe have iron sharpen iron. So really McKivitz's spot, I really hope that he can hold it down, but I'd like to see, whoever it is there, you need stability for whoever's going to play quarterback.
Mm-hmm.